This is the Audi A1 and it's an upmarket small car and Volkswagen Polo's posh sibling. In this video we're going to tell you exactly what it's like and whether it should be on your shortlist if you're looking for a trendy town runabout. But before we do that, if you're a subscriber, make sure you click on the bell icon where you'll be alerted every time there's a new video, and we've got quite a few exciting videos coming over the next few weeks. And if you're interested in buying an Audi A1, head to whatcar.com and browse through our brilliant deals where we can help save you thousands. The 1 in A1 should give you a clue that this is the smallest car in Audi's range. Despite that though, they all come with LED headlights as standard, the familiar large grille, and these nostrils are very similar to the hot Audi S4, which is a throwback and a homage to Audi's impressive and famous rally cars of the 1980s. The latest generation A1 is about 5 centimetres longer than the previous model, but it's the same height and width, which results in a more squat side profile than its closely related, boxier Volkswagen Polo. There are lots of cheaper small car rivals such as the Ford Fiesta, Skoda Fabia and Seat Ibiza. In terms of a premium rival, that would be the Mini hatchback. To find out if the A1 is the best of the lot, then let's start by having a look at the inside of the car. Outstanding interior quality was one of the defining aspects of the original A1, but the same cannot be said for this latest generation. Sure, it feels a lot more premium than, say, a Ford Fiesta, particularly if you look at this squidgy material on the dash and some of the buttons as well. However, this hard, scratchy plastic and the plastic here on the centre console just doesn't feel quite as premium as we feel it should. The Mini remains the king of small car interiors. But the A1 does have a logically laid out interior and these quick access climate control buttons, which are easy to hit on the move and feel pleasingly high quality when used. Every A1 comes with an 8.8-inch touchscreen, which is positioned high up on the dash, so you should be able to see it and reach it very easily. It's also well kitted out with things such as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you go for the technology pack, you get features such as sat-nav, wireless charging and a larger 10.1-inch touchscreen. Whichever system you choose, the basic hardware and software is pretty similar, so response times and route calculations are pleasingly fast. The screen is sharper than that of the Mini, however it's a touchscreen, so using it while on the move can prove distracting, and it's altogether a tad more hassle to use than the round iDrive controller in the Mini. While the Mini can annoy you with its irritating offset pedals, there is no such bother in the A1 because the seat, pedals and steering wheel are perfectly aligned. There's also plenty of adjustment in the seat and the steering wheel for reach and rake, so you should be able to find a comfortable driving position. There's plenty of choices of seat as well, although we don't recommend going for the top spec S-line seats because the sloping backrest won't suit everybody. And as for the support around cornering, it's not as great as you might think, despite having these chunky side bolsters. All A1 models get digital instruments as standard in place of regular analogue dials, with the option to swap the standard 10.3-inch display for a more configurable version if you add the rather pricey technology pack. We recommend considering the pack since it allows for a full screen view of the sat-nav map directly under your nose. Forward visibility is excellent thanks to these skinny pillars. The same cannot be said for the rear because you've got a thick pillar and an angled rear screen. However, sport models and above do come with rear parking sensors, and if you'd like a rear view camera and front parking sensors, you can add those to any model. Space up front is generous. If you're 6 foot, you'll be absolutely fine. There's also plenty of storage. There's a space here for your mobile phone, although I've got some makeup there, so I think I'll put it in the glove box. And there's some more storage here and 2 cup holders and a decent sized door bin. In the back, it's not the roomiest in its class. If you're 6 foot, you may have to slouch a little bit and then your knees will be rubbing the seat in front of you, unless I'm driving, of course, in which case you might have plenty of leg room. There aren't a lot of cars in this class that impress with their seat flexibility, apart from maybe the Honda Jazz with its flippable magic seats. The A1 doesn't have that, but it still comes with standard 60/40 split rear seats that fold easily via levers near the rear headrests. The front passenger seat is height adjustable on all A1 models, but you can't fold it down for long loads as you can in the Jazz. Opening the boot reveals a large, usable, square load area. In fact, this boot is bigger than the Minis and is large enough to accommodate 5 carry-on suitcases, which is perfect for a small family weekend trip away, although it is ever so slightly smaller than the Honda Jazz and Seat Ibiza. For added flexibility, you can add an adjustable boot floor, which is a reasonable cost on the options list, and it just smooths out this load lip, so when you do have the seats down, it's just easier to get things in and out. But how expensive is it? These are the key things you need to know about buying and owning an Audi A1. The A1 is slightly more affordable to buy than the equivalent Mini, but it still attracts a hefty premium over the Volkswagen Polo. But the A1's predicted depreciation is lowest in its class, which means resale values will be some of the best when it comes time to selling. The A1 CO2 emissions are lower than the Minis, which means good news for company car drivers, and our favourite 1-litre petrol engine is more fuel efficient as well. However, a Volkswagen Polo is better still. When deciding which trim to go for, it's worth noting the entry-level SE model only really gets the essentials such as 15-inch alloy wheels, manual air conditioning and the infotainment system we've already mentioned. We recommend going for Sport model and above, where you get 16-inch alloy wheels, cruise control and rear parking sensors. The A1 is too new to be tested by Euro NCAP, but it's reasonable to expect it to perform at least as well as the 5-star rated Volkswagen Polo that it shares many parts with. While the A1 comes with automatic emergency braking and lane keeping assistance as standard, it misses out on useful safety aids such as blind spot monitoring and traffic sign assist. You can get those in other small cars. It can take some time to get your head around Audi's badging policy, but in simple terms, the bigger the number, the more power. With that in mind, we recommend avoiding the 94 brake horsepower 25 TFSI and instead going for the 114 brake horsepower 30 TFSI. It's keen and is good on acceleration, although it's not earth-moving 0 to 60 times because it takes 9.1 seconds to get there. Or if you want your A1 to have even more power, you can go for the 148 brake horsepower 35 TFSI or the 197 brake horsepower 40 TFSI. However, these both push the prices up too high for us to recommend. As for ride comfort, the A1 manages to have a smooth, controlled ride that's something of a novelty in the small car class. That is, if you pick the right trim. So long as you don't go for the S-Line trim and its stiffer suspension, the A1 deals admirably well with pot-marked urban roads or bumpy sections of the motorway. The well-judged suspension translates to tidy handling, and the steering feels light around town but weights up nicely when you gather up some speed. If you plan to drive your A1 in a spirited fashion, we must warn you that it does lean in the corners. Not excessively though, and you still get plenty of grip even on high-speed corners. But for something truly entertaining, we recommend the Ford Fiesta. In terms of refinement, at 70 miles per hour, you can't really hear the engines at all. There is a little bit of wind and road noise, but nothing that is particularly intrusive. If you go for the 18-inch alloys, you can hear a bit more, and there's also the introduction of a little bit of suspension noise as well. However, all in all, it's a lot more refined than the Mini, and it's on a par with a Volkswagen Polo. If you like the looks of the Audi A1 and you're after a trendy city car, then it's not a bad choice. In fact, it's a better premium car package than the Mini, but remember the cheaper, even more spacious Volkswagen Polo. To save some money on an Audi A1, head to whatcar.com and check out our new car buying section. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, stay up to date with all of our latest videos and click on the bell icon so that you can be one of the first to catch the scoop.